Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wednesday show. And what do you think of that little tease in the thumbnail? Is Vegas vlogging doomed? Are we really going to talk about that? We are. We're going to talk about that. And even though it was a bit of clickbait to try to get somebody to say, hey, what's going on here? And take a view of the show, it's a serious question. A few weeks ago, I suggested as one of my best Vegas tips that, hey, vlog your trip, even if it's just for your own amusement. You don't have to have a YouTube channel, or you don't have to, have thousands of subscribers. That's a great way to sort of remember your trip. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe there's already too many vloggers. And we exist in a kind of legal no man's land. With regard to a lot of the filming that takes place in Las Vegas. I rarely ever do walkthrough videos anymore. I used to do them. I would do some of them again, probably. I mean, I did walkthrough videos of everything. Walkthrough videos at the airport, a 3-part series. Walkthrough videos at shopping malls. I took every single tram that I could find and recorded it. Walked through a number of different properties. But, I found very frequently security within these establishments would shut me down, sometimes in a rather bullying sort of fashion. And frankly, at this point, there was a novelty to it a few years ago when I was doing it, but everybody's doing it now. It's reinventing the wheel. There's absolutely no need for me to walk through Resorts World and show you what it looks like, because there's already 50 walkthrough videos that you can go look at. No one will need to walk through Resorts World ever again. And, I think anybody who's vlogged has had the experience of being shut down or told to stop filming. Sometimes they're nice about it, sometimes they're not so nice about it. Resorts World seemed to be pretty comfortable with people filming, at least their grand opening, realizing that you could get a lot of positive press out of that. And pretty much everybody did. I'm not sure that there's 50 walkthroughs of Resorts World, but there probably is. Some of them probably smaller channels you don't know about, or local newscasts or whatever. Basically, a lot of what we film as Vegas vloggers, and I'll throw this in slot channels as well, we do basically at the goodwill of the casinos. And there doesn't seem to be a great deal of consistency in terms of how the rules are enforced, or even what the rules are. Again, Resorts World made a posting, there was a signage somewhere in the building saying it's okay to take pictures and video, respecting people's privacy, but, it's for your personal non-commercial use. And that term brought to mind quite a bit of discussion as to what constitutes commercial. If you are a vlogger with tens of thousands of subscribers, you're earning a decent amount of money on a monthly basis from Google. And in addition, a lot of these channels do regular live streams, and in the process earn money from super chats and super stickers. Many of them have memberships, either directly through YouTube or through Patreon, and earn money from that. Some of these bloggers essentially are making a living vlogging. Isn't that commercial? How do we define that? Is it how much money you make? Is it whether or not you're some sort of a large corporation? And keep in mind, none of the Vegas vloggers out there, or even the big slot channels like Brian Christopher has got like 300,000 plus subscribers, none of those hold a candle to the biggest channels on YouTube with tens of millions of subscribers, or even several million subscribers. We are small potatoes, even considering both the slot and the sort of broader Vegas channels. So we're, they could, anytime, any casino could say, no more filming in here. We'll throw you out. That's kind of what Virgin did. It got a lot of bad press. At least it got a lot of bad press in the vlogging community and the people that follow that. But, is that really that significant a percentage of people who go to Vegas? I don't know. Certainly the most dedicated and insane fans of Las Vegas probably do watch slot channels and Vegas vlogs. This past week we saw a sort of onslaught of vloggers like perhaps never seen before. A few years ago, we had a gathering of folks, and I think about 10 people showed up. The following year, the same gathering probably had 40 or 50 people show up. There was probably that or maybe more people who were involved in Rocktober, or at least some part of Rocktober. And, this year's Rocktober plans, is likely to be larger than that. Within these casinos, it seems like security has a great deal of discretion and can decide whether they like you or don't like you, or whether they think you're up to something, or maybe they're just having a bad day and they're going to take it out on some little guy filming. So, you're never entirely sure, although we've, obviously Cosmopolitan's been really good. We'll get back to that in a minute, in terms of allowing people to film their own play and do lives and things like that. And there's some other properties beyond Resorts World. I know the D has usually been pretty good. The Plaza's pretty good. I think it's in some cases you have people in those organizations that realize the value of the sort of new media. But at the same time, that value increases sort of exponentially as you move from channels with 1,500 subscribers like this one to a channel with 150,000 subscribers or more, like some of the very, large slot channels. And, we have seen casinos sort of smartly, I think, sort of tie themselves to some of these slot channels. Most notably, if you go into the Plaza, there's a Brian Christopher section. You'll notice that Slot Lady, when she plays, is pretty much exclusively at El Cortez. And so there's been a relationship, and there's a symbiotic thing going on there. Yes, it's helping those people to promote their channels and giving them more visibility, and also sort of immunity, because they're officially there at the request or the behest of that particular casino, so they don't run into any of those problems. But, is that going to be the same for me walking into a casino and recording my play? I was told once by an overzealous, rather bullying security person that it was against the law to film my play. There's no point arguing with those people at that point anyway, but I would have to think that many of the slot channels are, in fact, therefore guilty of so many counts of filming their own play that they'll be locked up for a long time in Carson City. Yes, it is entirely appropriate for a casino to have rules as far as what they allow and do not allow on private property. I've said that on other occasions on the channel. They have every right to make rules as to what you can film, what you can't film. And, if you're being sort of abusive or you're invading the privacy of other customers, and I think that must happen once in a while. There probably are customers that see people filming and report it to security and say, shut this down. They shouldn't be doing that. And the more of us there are, the more vlogging. I think I talked about Vegas Visual and his channel, which is basically just covering all the other Vegas vlogs. Well, you could probably do a Vegas vlog just vlogging the vloggers themselves. Just follow them around and vlog what they're doing, because there's so many of them, and there's so many local ones as well that are quite popular, or people that seem to be in Vegas every week. I'm not sure how you do that, but it's a good gig if you can get it, I guess. But, as more and more people are doing this, and as they're becoming more and more visible, are they becoming a nuisance? The Cosmopolitan shut down a major sort of soiree that was being held by Lucky Dog Slots for the Howlapalooza event, which they were instrumental in putting together. Apparently, by all accounts, they had permission from, someone within the casino to have a little party. Well, apparently the party was a bit loud, and some other guests complained, and security appeared and broke the thing up. Much to many of those in attendance chagrin. And, you know, we've seen other instances like this. Obviously, the people being thrown out of Virgin when it first opened. At what point does the casino see all of these vloggers no longer as anything that's helping to promote them, and they become simply a nuisance, like too many strollers or scooter gangs? Again, we film in their casino at their sufferance, and if they decide to shut it down, they can. You know, there was even people shut down for filming outside on Fremont Street, because I guess it's, you know, the Fremont Street experience, I think, is kind of a private area. It's not entirely public. I don't know. You can correct me on that if you want. But yeah, like I said, I just don't do the walkthrough videos anymore. They're unnecessary. It's all been done. And, you know, I don't really want to run afoul of hotel security. They can be unpleasant. In one instance, I was just taking photographs around a casino and got shaken down pretty good by a guy that apparently thought that I was taking all these photographs in order to case the joint. And I don't know what he thought I was going to do. I was able to, and basically he said, "You're out of the casino, get out of here." Now, I was able to bargain with the guy, showed him the pictures, and I deleted them in front of him, and was allowed to stay. But again, those kinds of things happen. They may happen, you know, more frequently to some people than others. Perhaps some of us are not very discreet about what we do. And again, when you talk about commercial use, you know, I know one of the times that I was stopped most frequently was when I was using my little camcorder. And I think people sort of equate using a camcorder to probably filming something for like a movie or television or something. And I think that probably sort of raised a red flag with some of the security people. But honestly, you know, people have phones with cameras that are of a higher quality than you could have, anybody could have afforded as a standalone camera 10 years ago. So this is, in many cases, essentially professional commercial grade equipment. And there are vloggers that have, you know, camera gear that's like thousands of dollars. Again, is that commercial? And at what point does the casino want to cut, or decides that they're going to cut and run? So is Vegas vlogging doomed? I think we're going to see changes. And I think there needs to be some changes. You know, not with regard necessarily to what the policies are, but having those policies more clearly spelled out and having people within those resorts all on the same page as to what's going on. And, you know, right now that doesn't appear to be the case. And again, I think security in a lot of these properties has a lot of discretion to just sort of decide that something is disruptive, or you know, they don't like what's going on, and they just stop it. And maybe that's okay, but again, without clear rules in place as to what you can and can't do, it's a slippery slope. So no, I don't think Vegas vlogging is doomed, but it may change, and probably needs to change. I can't keep up with everything. Nobody can. I'm guilty of it too, but did we really need 150 live streams in the last week? No, we didn't. You know, if you're a shut-in and you don't have any other form of entertainment, okay, great. You know, they're fun to chat with people. I enjoy doing it too, but you know, it's crazy. You know, frankly, I'd rather watch some other things besides Vegas vlogs. I know, color me weird, but that's just me. All right, we'll end that little discussion there that probably went on longer than it needs to. It's time for a tip from PJ. He's back from vacation, looking rested, and he's got a tip. It's not really a cocktail tip this week, but it's a good one, so stay tuned.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Wednesday show. John, how you doing? Fantastic. We're out here in my backyard today, bringing you this week's tip. And this one, ladies and gentlemen, is very important for your feet. Let me show you why. Now, I don't have the prettiest of feet, and I don't claim to have the prettiest feet. But if you're in Las Vegas, you want to make sure you have one thing, the proper walking shoes. Let's get to it, shall we? You got two choices. How far are you walking? Are you walking to the pool? Fantastic. Let's get some flip-flops or sandals, whatever you want to call them. If you're walking the strip, you want some good walking shoes, because your dogs will thank you later. Very important, the proper walking shoes. Pick your comfort, ladies and gentlemen. Personally, I like the shoes, the tennis shoes, that is. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is this week's tip on the Wednesday show. John, back to you. Take it away, sir.
Okay. I'm torn. Do I like hashtag feet in the for this video? So, you know, people will flock to the show to look at PJs Feet. No, I'm not going to encourage something like that. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, definitely keep those shoes on, PJ. Definitely. All right, so I'm going to wrap up today's show with another little short bit of statistical data. One of my loyal viewers suggested that one of the things that I could talk about relating to my 46 trips to Las Vegas was what some of my favorite properties were where I stayed. And so I will do that. I will count down my 5 favorite properties. And we're going to start at number 1 because it's just what we're going to do. The best experience I ever had, sadly only one night, but it was an incredible experience, was the wraparound terrace suite at Cosmopolitan. I mean, it's not brain surgery to say that that's arguably the best room, you know, in Las Vegas that, you know, a person could, you know, realistically afford. And it wasn't cheap. Even on a Thursday night, it was not cheap, but it was definitely well worth it for my 50th birthday celebration. And again, we probably had, you know, 10 people up in the room, and there's plenty of space, and, you know, the terrace is amazing. Great view. We didn't have a fountain view, but was still a great view of Las Vegas from there. So that would be number 1, my favorite hotel property. Number 2 was the suite that I had at the Aria a few years ago, and I can't remember what it was called. I think it was like a panorama suite or something. I'm not really sure, but it was enough that you were able to check. You had a separate check-in area. There was a lounge that you could visit for some light snacks and soda, water, coffee, that sort of thing. So that part was kind of cool. Was kind of an exclusive elevator access of sorts. But it was just an amazing room, amazing view, you know, great bed, you know, jetted tub, the amazing Toto washlet for ultimate cleanliness. You know, robes, slippers, just, you know, the whole 9 yards. It's just a great room. Again, I was only there one night, but I'd certainly revisit again if the price was right. But that would be probably number 2. I would say number 3 on my favorite rooms in Vegas. And I've stayed there a couple of times, and basically the rooms were exactly the same. One of my guests was technically a corner room, so you had views out 2 different sides, but that would be the Delano, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. I'm pretty sure that's how you're actually supposed to pronounce it. I don't always, but the Delano. Stayed there a couple of times, couple of nights on each occasion. Really, really nice room. Big, comfortable. Again, I like the beds, and just an overall really, really good experience there at Delano. Yeah, there you go. So that probably be number 3 on the hit parade. Then it gets a little bit more sort of nebulous as to what my favorite would be. I would probably say next was my room at the Luxor. That was also a sort of one-bedroom suite. Probably in need of some remodeling, but again, I loved having all the space, wet bar, fridge, a genuinely separate sort of living and sleeping area. Really nice bathroom. Really enjoyed this. Again, the size of the room is a big factor in terms of how much I like the room. These are all big rooms in addition, so you're normally not going to find small rooms listed as my favorites by any means. And then I honestly think my next favorite, again, this was a one-night stay, was a designer's suite. And I think they've remodeled these also. I don't know if we even have these designer suites anymore at El Cortez, but really cool layout there at that property. Again, it was showing its age in places, but again, a beautiful, living area. Had a really cool sort of desert vibe design, and I really did enjoy my stay there. Again, it was just one night, but I really did enjoy that property, and would go back and stay at the property a couple more times, but not in that room. So there you go. These are my 5 favorite rooms in Las Vegas. Several of them are pretty recent. I didn't, these were, in most cases, were splurges, a one-night stay somewhere in the midst of a longer trip, just to check it out. And obviously, I enjoyed what I saw. So there you go. What are your favorite rooms in Las Vegas? Places you've enjoyed staying? Next week, we will talk about some of the least promising rooms in Las Vegas, and those will go back a few decades in some cases. But I don't know exactly what shape next week's Wednesday show is going to take. I will be out of town, so we may do something. We may end up postponing the Wednesday show next week. I may vlog some elements of my trip home. I put together something for that somewhere along the way, but we may do a show. I don't know. I'll certainly have the equipment with me to do it if I feel like it. But we'll be back on Saturday, of course, with Vegas Weekly. If you've sat through this long tirade about vlogging and such things, thank you. If by some chance you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. Please hit the like button. Comment if you have thoughts on vlogging or hotel rooms or anything of the sort. If you want to make sure you never miss one of my videos, hit that notification bell, give you the opportunity to find out exactly when our videos are released. So until the next time we chat, have a great, lucky, and healthy week. We'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.